Alright, so hello guys, this is 204 here. I'm going to show you how I play the game Agario here. You see, when I first start out, the goal here is to just grow mass. Obviously there's probably, 41 people in this room, so you can't mess with people bigger than you. So you see I try to avoid them here, and some of them will chase you, but if they're in 16 pieces it'll be hard for them to catch you if you're smaller, so you can just usually run from them. And this AG free hug guy here is trying to eat me, so I have to run from him, and he's just too afraid to split. Oh, there he goes, but now I can eat him, so I'll grab this other guy here because he didn't split. Now I can split AG and then eat him, so that just makes it easier, and then you can grow quickly doing that rather than just eating dots. But you can see I try to go to dots here, and that guy's too big, so I'm going to stay away from him. Cell 590s or 950 there is easy to take, so I'll take him. AG's back, wants some more, but he's just way too little, so he shouldn't even be messing with me. Here's another guy, the pink guy there. I could take him, so I'll take him and then grow my mass. You can see I'm already up to number 3 now, so it's only been a minute and I'm number 2 now. And now I've got some good mass. I'm trying to even out my pieces. You see what I did there, and try to be in 16 pieces. This guy's easy. I can take him. He's got all his pieces toward me. His little pieces were toward me. You see that? So I can take him easily. Spy Ross, see his piece there? He exposed it to me, so I was able to get a big piece there. So it just makes it easy to take somebody like that. Never expose your little pieces toward anybody. Once I eat your little piece, then my piece gets bigger by the mass of your little piece, and then it can eat your other pieces because you're only in 15 pieces or fewer. Alright, so number 1 here, and I'll stay number 1. This is, once you get to number 1, it's mostly easy. You can see this yellow guy just trying to mess with me, and I don't even care. He's shooting at me but can't split me, so that's not even a big problem. And then if he does accidentally split me, I'll just eat him. You can see that happen there. I have a big problem with zoom, you'll see. I've zoomed in here now a little bit for you, but normally I play zoomed out a lot. I like to see what's going on around the edge of the screen, and until I zoom out I don't know how zoomed I am actually. So anyway, you see a lot of dots here over on the right, and now that I'm bigger, I'll go to them sometimes and scoop them up, just because you're constantly shrinking if you're not growing. And then I try to span out wide, and I call it sweeping sometimes, and I'll get as wide as I can and then just sweep. And often I'll sweep people down into a corner, just because I can sometimes sweep 3 or 4 or 5 people down into a corner, and then there's nowhere for them to go if I'm large enough. A lot of times Omer here, this guy is messing with me. Like, some people mess with me and just don't know any better. If somebody's much bigger than you mass-wise, you shouldn't mess with them. You should just go the other way. This blue guy, same thing here. That yellow guy's smart. He's running from me, but he's cornering himself up top. There's people coming from the left, people coming from the right, so he really doesn't have anywhere to go. So now I'll just eat him and this guy too at the same time. And that's another thing. Attacking 2 people that are attacking each other is always a dangerous thing, because people are changing size so quickly. So you have to really know what you're doing. I would recommend, if you're new, if 2 people go to attack each other, don't try to mess with them. But anyway, you can see here I have my big piece out back. That's really not the smartest way to do it. Ideally, you want your biggest piece to be the attacking piece. But once I start heading over to the right here, and all my little pieces are over there, I can actually shift left now and go down and to the left, and now I have my big pieces where I want them. I could attack somebody easily to my left, down and left here, and take just about anybody, even a number 1 guy. I could take him down. A lot of people like to join their pieces before they attack. That's just a waste of time, and it gives somebody else time to get you, so I don't do that. 90% of the time I just attack with the pieces that are closest. I've got the mass, so even if you eat one of my little pieces, I don't care. In fact, lots of times I'll do that. See this guy HHH, I just have to pop him, watch, and then see he's bigger, but once I pop him, I eat him, and then I instantly grow bigger. So you don't even worry about people like that. As long as you have the mass, you're fine. So now here you see I'm going down and to the left again. And by the way, a trick a lot of people may not know if you're new to stay in 16 pieces is you just tap the control key on your keyboard. You can hit spacebar to split, and I do that a lot, but if I want to make sure that I'm in 16 pieces, I just tap the control key. One thing you have to be careful of if you've never used that is not to hold the control key. I mean, you can, and it'll keep you split in 16 pieces, but if you ever go to hit W to shoot, Control W is a Windows shortcut for closing your tab, so you'll actually exit out. It's kind of like F5. F5, a lot of people don't know, is to refresh. You'll see sometimes if I chase people and they just disappear. Sometimes they spam out or lag out or whatever, but most of the time it's they hit F5 because they don't want you to eat their mass. I don't do that. That's kind of lame. There you can see I just split up to get Omer. I'll do that a lot if I'm not in 16 pieces. I don't usually do it, but sometimes I'll gather into 10 or 12 pieces and then split in a certain direction. Always go for the little piece. If you split somebody, if you need to split them, you just hit W. Never use the E key. E key just shoots too much mass. And even the W, use it sparingly. You'll see I only shoot a little bit. The thing is, when you're in 16 pieces, every time you hit W, it shoots 16 viruses. So, it's kind of a waste. There I go again. See him circle around that guy and take his little pieces. And then I just move around the screen. I try to stay in the middle. You see right now I'm in C3. I occasionally do go into the corners, but corners will corner you. Anybody who's bigger than you or wants to attack you can come at you from one angle, and if you have your smaller pieces exposed to that side, then you're vulnerable. So ideally try to stay out of the corners. Unless you're really big. I mean, if you're big enough, like I'm number 1, I could go into the corner without any threats, but if you're number 10 or something like that, the corner's a dangerous place to be. Once I get you there, you're mine. And ideally, you see somebody bigger than you. I think I mentioned this before, but run away. There's no shame in running away. You don't want to attack somebody who's larger than you. Ideally, you attack somebody who's smaller than you. Work your way up. And if you see me, don't come toward me and don't follow me. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do if you're just a little, I call them mosquitoes. If you're following me, then odds are one of my pieces will pop and eat you, or I might change direction quickly and eat you. I mean, nothing's good's going to come of it. You can't possibly take me down. I was away from the keyboard one time and came back, and I saw somebody trying to eat me, and I was joining back together without even touching the keyboard, and then they shot at me, and I popped and ate them. So they couldn't even eat me when I wasn't even at the keyboard. That pro girl attack right there, you see I had my big piece there, so she may have been shooting at me but didn't have a chance because that one won't pop. 16 pieces is the key, by the way. Everybody asks me, how are you so good, or how do you stay number 1 or whatever. 16 pieces, simple. You see here I'm going after people with small pieces, and as soon as I get one of their little pieces there, and then I'll take another little piece, and then I just keep going and work my way up. And now my front piece there is bigger than almost all of my other pieces. Now I'll change direction. See, Pro Girl was following me. Bad move. As soon as I switch direction, then they're just vulnerable. You have to stay away from people who are bigger than you. I usually look at the leaderboard too, and I see Omar there, and then Turtle and stuff. Turtle's above me, so I'll go after them because they're high on that list, so they're going to be a lot of food for me. Soldier's number 3 now, so I'll eat him. And it's a lot of food, and then it also takes away my competition, because if I eat the number 2 guy, he's the one who's going to become number 1 if he gets bigger. Cello right down here, you see he's number 3 on the left there, so I'll probably go after him there. There you go. So he's coming toward me, which was a mistake, and then I'll just take as much as I can. I don't always eat every piece of everybody. I'll eat a few pieces, and then, if there's more in that area. See, now he could take me now, but he just didn't, so I'll just pop him and eat him. And then the people in the corner, that's just free food. I usually try to stay away from the edge too, because I can see more that way. Like right now I can see the top and I can see down in the screen, so I'll run right along the A1 or A1 B1 border all the way to A5 B5 if I'm going to do something. Don't run along the top edge, because then you limit your visibility. And it's quite often here that I get attacked, or people try to attack me from all different angles. And I don't worry about that. As long as you're big, you don't have to worry about that. Most of the time, it's helpful, actually, if people are on my tail. I know I don't have one at this point, but if somebody's on the rear side of me and they're shooting viruses at me, then they're popping my back piece constantly, which keeps me in 16 pieces. So unwittingly, they're actually helping me to eat other people, because then my front piece stays large and it can't be popped. Also, the larger you are, I'm sure you know this, but the slower your pieces join back together. So that's another advantage. Watch this. I'll just go around and get this guy from the other side. See, he could have had me there, but he let me. He's not coming toward me. He let me come in around this bottom side there. So now I've got him. I have 16 pieces, so this will be easy. See my pieces down and to the left? That helps me. Even though they were tiny, I'm able with my big piece on top to just come around and eat them. Now there's somebody big down here in the corner. You'll notice on my screen, yeah, that was easy. You'll notice on my screen a lot of the symbols show up on my leaderboard with little square blocks. So I play on Google Chrome. I don't know whether that's a Chrome issue or not, but a lot of you guys who use fancy nicks and stuff, I don't even know your name because it doesn't appear properly on my screen. So that's one of the reasons I used 204 and became just a number, because and not fancy at all, because I wanted people to be able to see my name up there and just keep it short and simple. It's also quick to type. If I have to type that number 13 guy SG or FGTEV, it's just too much. So that one, I don't know if you guys were watching, that was an interesting and fun take right there. I don't worry about it. As long as I have 16 pieces and as long as I have the mass, I can take that guy. Even if he gets 90% of me, I still have the mass. So here you go. I locked up 12 minutes 25 seconds, and that's the end of my game. This happens to me every day, and that's life on Agario for me.